Hey, what's up guys, it's DarkArmedDuelist, and today I'm going to be doing a Blackluster Soldier deck profile. So I'm really excited to bring this one to you guys because I'm actually going to be doing some live duels with this deck soon. And I wanted to go ahead and update it for you guys so you can see the exact build that I'm going to be playing in the live duels, because this deck is absolutely insane. I've already gotten a couple done, and this deck is crazy in the live duels. It pulls off some really cool combos, and I'm really excited to show you guys those in those live duels. But without further ado guys, don't forget to like, comment, subscribe, hit the bell next to you and become part of the notification squad, and definitely check out the Patreon down in the description below, because we have all sorts of awesome rewards you guys, like getting your name description every single video, getting a signed cards in the mail, or even getting to request a deck profile every single month you're a patron, along with test hands. So without further ado, let's get straight on into this. And plus, this deck is like one of the most nostalgic cards in the entire game of Yu-Gi-Oh! In the form of Blackluster Soldier. Like, it's just so cool. So we're gonna go start off with 2 copies of Blackluster Soldier, Super Soldier. So Super Soldier is a really good card that has the ability that your opponent cannot, an opponent's monster by battle, if this card destroys an opponent's monster by battle and sends it to the graveyard, inflict damage to opponent equal to the original attack of the monster that this card destroyed, which is really good. It's kind of like Elemental Hero Flame Wingman or Shining Flare Wingman's effects, where you're going to be able to deal your opponent damage equal to the monster that it destroyed's attack, which is pretty good as well. It also has some really good effects that if this card on the field is destroyed by battle and sent to the graveyard, while you possess this card, or destroyed by an opponent's card effect and sent to your graveyard, you can special summon a Gaia the Fierce Knight monster from your hand, deck, or graveyard, and you can only special summon Blackluster Soldier, Super Soldier once per turn. We then play a single copy of the original Blackluster Soldier, because this card actually comes in handy quite a lot in the deck. To be able to summon this card to your side of the field, it's really a good card in the deck because it is a vanilla monster, and it just comes up a lot because your copies of your mini knights like Evening, Twilight, and Beginning Night, they actually come up their effects a lot to be able to summon this card with buffs. And also, this card doesn't count as Super Soldier, it just counts as Blackluster Soldier, so you can actually summon this card to your side of the field with a copy of Super Soldier the same turn. We then play 2 copies of Blackluster Soldier, Envoy of the Beginning. So Envoy of the Beginning is a ridiculously powerful card in this deck because it has the ability that you can banish a light and dark from your graveyard to instantly special summon this card to your side of the field. And it also has the ability that you can either target a card on the field and banish it, but it can't attack this turn, or if this card is attacking and destroys an opponent's monster by battle, it can attack again in a row, which is a really powerful effect. This card is one of the most powerful cards in the entire game of Yu-Gi-Oh! Still to this day. We then play a single copy of the Chaos Creator, which is what I changed out for the 3rd copy of Blackluster Soldier. But this card is really good in the deck because it has the ability that you can banish a light and dark monster from your graveyard, and if you control this card with special summon from your hand, you can target 3 of your banished cards with different names, special summon one of them, and place the rest on the bottom of the deck in any order, which is a pretty good effect just to be able to get your banished cards back to your side of the field. But you can interchanges if you want to play a 3rd copy of Blackluster Soldier in the deck. We then play a single copy of Chaos Valkyrion. Valkyrion is really good because it has the ability you can banish 1 light or 1 dark monster from your graveyard to special summon this card from your hand, and if this card is banished, you can send 1 light or dark monster from your deck to the graveyard, but for the rest of the turn, you cannot activate monsters with the same effects or card effects with the same name as that card for the rest of the turn, which is a pretty good effect. We then play 2 copies, or a single copy of White Dragon Collapse Serpent, or White Dragon Wyvern Buster, and a single copy of Black Dragon Collapse Serpent. I always get those names mixed up, but basically these 2 are the White and Black Dragon that you basically are going to banish a light monster or a dark monster, especially summon them to your side of the field, which is going to be super helpful just to be able to get them on your side of the field as additional materials for Link summons and Xyz summons. We then play 3 copies of Blue Mountain Butter Spy. So Blue Mountain Butter Spy is really good because if this card, when you control a warrior monster, you can special summon this card from your hand, but it can't be used as synchro material, which is really nice just to get it out on your side of the field. It's just a super good card just to get out on the field as a 3 of in the deck because you have so many warriors in the deck. I then play a single copy of Photon Thrasher. Photon Thrasher is just a good 1 of to me because you can throw it out on your side of the field really quickly as a Cyber Dragon-ish effect. We then play 3 copies of Neospatian Connector. Neospatian Connector is really good because when this card is normal summon, you can special summon 1 Neospatian monster from your deck, which is always going to be your copy of Aqua Dolphin. Aqua Dolphin is ridiculously good in the deck because Aqua Dolphin can look at your opponent's hand, which is a really awesome effect just to give you that knowledge of what your opponent's playing. We then play 3 copies of Evening Twilight. Evening Twilight is really good because this card gains multiple effects. If it's banished, you get to add a ritual monster from your deck to your hand, and then a Blackluster Soldier monster that uses this card as a material gains the following effects. You once per turn be able to target a monster your opponent controls and banish it, and then also once per turn you can banish a random card from your opponent's hand face down, which is an extremely powerful effect just to banish something from their hand. We then play 3 copies of Beginning Night. Beginning Night is really good, but this is until your opponent's end phase that it banishes a card. So, Beginning Night is really good because Beginning Night has the ability that you can once per turn target a monster your opponent controls and banish it, and when an opponent's monster destroys an opponent, or when this card destroys an opponent's monster by battle and sent to the graveyard, you can make this card attack again in a row, which is again a very powerful effect. And also, when this card is banished, you get to add a ritual spell from your deck to your hand, which is super good just to be able to add those ritual spells from your deck to your hand. We then play 2 copies of Super Soldier Soul. Super Soldier Soul is ridiculously good in this deck too, because you're going to use it in the Isolde package to be able to get it out onto your side of the field as quickly as possible, because this card is really good at being used as a link material, and also has the ability that you can send a Blackluster Soldier monster in your hand to the graveyard, and then until your opponent's next end phase, this card's attack becomes 3,000, its name becomes Blackluster Soldier, and you manage this card from your graveyard to add a Beginning Night or an Evening Twilight from your deck to your hand, so it can help you out a lot with your ritual plays as well. So, that's it for the monsters, guys. Let's get into the spells. So for the spells, we're going to be playing quite a few spells in this deck. So we're going to open up with a single copy of Foolish Burial. It is a Chaos deck, so you're going to be playing out of the graveyard a lot. So it's really important to play the copy of Foolish Burial, because Foolish Burial is just really, really good in the deck to be able to just get all your different plays off and get the exact card that you need to the graveyard as fast as possible. So it's a really good card overall in this deck to just use this, send the exact card you need, and then go off from there. We then play a single copy of Reinforcements of the Army. This is going to add any of your warrior monsters that you need from your deck to your hand. It is a primarily warrior based deck, but all your level 4 or lower warrior monsters are searched by this, so it's a really good card. 1 copy of Double or Nothing. Double or Nothing is really good in the deck too. You could change it out if you don't want to play this card. You can play another copy of Photon Thrasher, or you can play another copy of Super Soldier Soul. I wouldn't recommend the Super Soldier Soul, but you could play another copy of Photon Thrasher if you want to, or the other BLS if you want to play that card as well. But this card is really good because it can help you OTK. It's just a little bit of a brick if you do draw it in the deck, but if you can pull off a Double or Nothing OTK with your Utopia Double, it's well worth it. We then play 3 copies of Chaos Space. Chaos Space is really good because it's the searcher of the deck, that you can send a light or dark monster in your hand to the graveyard to add 1 light or dark monster that cannot be normal summoned or set with a different attribute than the monster that you send to the graveyard, which is a pretty good effect. And also you can banish this card from your graveyard to target 1 banished light or dark monster that cannot be normal summoned or set, and place that monster on the bottom of your deck, and then you get to draw a card as well, which the black dragon, the white dragon, your Chaos Valkyrian, and your copy of Chaos Creator and Blackluster Soldier Envoy the Beginning, all those cards are searchable by Chaos Space. We then play 3 copies of Gateway to Chaos. Gateway to Chaos is an insanely good card, and I have to mention, Gateway to Chaos and Chaos Space, I know they're like both Chaos cards, but they both look extremely similar. Like Chaos Space and then Gateway to Chaos, it looks like you're going into that light end of the gateway, which probably is what it is. But when this card is activated, you get to add 1 Blackluster Soldier ritual monster or 1 Guy of the Year's Night from your deck to your hand, and each time a monster card is sent from the field to the graveyard, you get to place a spell counter on this card, and for each of those spell counters, match them 6, you can remove 3 of the spell counters off this card to add a ritual spell from your deck to your hand, which is a really good effect just to add your ritual spells from your deck to your hand. We then play a single copy of Super Soldier Ritual, which is essentially like a normal ritual spell for Blackluster Soldier, because this card can be used to ritual summon any Blackluster Soldier monster, and you must also tribute monsters in your hand or field whose total level exactly equal 8. It has to exactly equal 8 with this card, which is a little bit of a downside, but it also is pretty good to top deck this and use it as a card with your Blackluster Soldier to summon it out. And then during your main phase, except the turn this card was sent to the graveyard, you can banish this card in 1 light and 1 dark monster from your hand, ignoring and summoning conditions, to special summon a Blackluster Soldier from your hand, which is a really good effect to be able to just summon that card directly to your field. We then play 3 copies of Super Soldier Synthesis. Super Soldier Synthesis is the best card to play to summon out your copy of Blackluster Soldier, because it has the ability, this card can be used to ritual summon any Blackluster Soldier ritual monster from your hand or graveyard, and you must also send a light monster and a dark monster, 1 from your hand and 1 from your deck, to the graveyard, whose total level exactly equal 8. So you send 2 of your mini knights to the graveyard, which is implying you play 3 each, because you're always going to draw into at least 1 of them or 2 of them, and then you use the copy of Super Soldier Synthesis to go directly into your Blackluster Soldier ritual monster. We then play a single copy of Divine Sword Phoenix Blade, because you're playing a Isolde engine in the deck mildly with your copy of Super Soldier Soul, and a single copy of Living Fossil, which is essentially Monster Reborn, but in a equip spell form that you're going to be able to use multiple times with your copy of your Isolde package, which is really nice. You can use it multiple different ways, by either activating it or sending it into graveyard. So it's a very powerful card in the deck. So that's it for the spells, guys. Let's get into the extra deck. So for the extra deck, we're going to be playing quite a few cool cards in the extra deck. We're going to be playing a single copy of the Blackluster Soldier, Soldier of Chaos. Since it is a Blackluster Soldier deck, I figured why not throw this card in. You don't have to play it. If you want to play a budget version of Blackluster Soldier, you can drop this card out and play something else that you want to play, like that's a link through, like a Trisbania or something like that, if you want to play that route instead. This card doesn't make or break the deck, but it is a really nice card to actually have, especially with Ghosts of the Past releasing this in Ghost Rare soon. I'm definitely going to be picking that card up. We then play a single copy of Appaloosa. Appaloosa is really good in the deck because it gives you multiple negations, and this deck really like pumps out the monsters on the field to be able to get into Link 4, so this card is really, really good. We play a single copy of Access Code Talker. Access Code Talker is, again, a little bit of an expensive card. You can change it out for Borreload or Boral Sword as well to get you into this deck, to be able to not have to, you know, spend $100 on this card, but it's still a really good card to have in the deck. If you have it, play it. If you don't, you can play Borreload or Boral Sword, but it gives you additional pops, which is really nice. We then play a single copy of Unicorn because it can spin stuff, one copy of Phoenix because it can pop spells and traps, one copy of Cerberus because it can pop monsters, and then you play it in Isolde because it's a primarily warrior-based deck that's going to be able to use this card to maximum potential. You're able to search the monsters that you need out of the deck and special summon out your Super Soldier Soul to use as a link material, one copy of IP Masquerena because Masquerena can go into your copy of Unicorn, or Appaloosa, which is really cool to be able to just directly go into those and protect them from card effects, one copy of Linkribo. Linkribo is really good because Super Soldier Soul exists, and a single copy of Alamirage. Alamirage is for any monster that you normal summon that you need into the graveyard. Like, for example, if I have a copy of, say, let's just say I have a copy of one of my mini knights in the graveyard, like a copy of the, or in my hand. I'm going to normal summon one of the mini knights to my side of the field, and I have the other one in the graveyard, and have a BLS in my hand, Envoy the Beginning. I can link summon into Alamirage because I normal summon the second mini knight, get the Light and Dark in the graveyard, and then banish them, search my copy of my Ritual Spell and Ritual Monster, and it all kind of happened off the Alamirage, and I get to keep the Alamirage and a BLS on my side of the field, which is super nice, and I've already set myself up for a copy of a Ritual Summon as well, which is really cool. We then play a single copy of Utopia and Utopia Double. These are basically here for the 10,000 beat stick that you're going to be able to summon to your side of the field to do all sorts of OTK potential. One copy of Tornado Dragon because it pops spells and traps, Abyss Dweller because it can shut your opponent's graveyard down, and a single copy of Number 60 because it can let you draw 2 and discard 1 and send stuff from your deck to the graveyard. So this card is a really good card to be able to just draw 2, discard 1, and then be able to special summon from the graveyard and be able to double the attack of a monster. This card is really, really good in the deck. So that's it for the deck, guys. I hope you do enjoy it. It's a really cool deck to play with. I really enjoy playing around Blackluster Soldier. I hope you guys do check out the live duels when they come to the channel because they're going to be super fun to be able to watch, because I actually like hearted the cards in one of them. I believe it was against Toons. I actually hearted the cards in like top deck, a really awesome card. And actually, I'm not going to say if I won or lost because I want you guys to watch it, but let me just tell you, it was an exciting duel. So anyways, guys, don't forget to like, comment, subscribe, hit the bell on your screen, become part of the notification squad, and definitely check out the Patreon down in the description below. We'll see you guys in the next video. See you later, guys.